We go back to the conversation around ATM-related crimes. Speaking to UNISA cash and transit researcher Thabang Bogopa. Thabang, a very good evening to you once again. You were speaking a little earlier before we got cut off about the modus operandi that is being used during this time when it comes to cash and transit crimes.
Yes, thank you so much, and allow me to apologize for the network glitches that we've suffered. As I was indicating, that the popular ones will be the cross-pavement robberies, whereby a cash and transit vehicle will be targeted when it is offloading money in a shopping complex, or when it has just collected money, especially after it has collected from multiple banks. At the last collection, which will be in the dawn or somewhere around 4 to 5 p.m., and the criminal syndicates will target a in-transit vehicle which has very low security detail. Perhaps let me just showcase that I think if you hear from any of the news channels that a cash in transit robbery has occurred, it is now common in South Africa that we can assume which company has been affected. And we have about 5 to 6 major companies, and the others are not affected, but the ones who compromise on the level of security are mostly the ones that are being affected and targeted by criminals.
So is that why we can automatically assume who that is? And if they know that they're compromised, why are we not seeing an improvement in security? What could be some of the reasons behind that?
Thank you so much, my sister. It is a multiple issues that may attribute to this. And of course, one of the challenges that we are now seeing is that in the security business, there's major security companies which have outsourced some of their security businesses to smaller companies. So you find that in a certain zone or in a certain area, the company is just using the logos. But if you go and do more investigation, you'll realize that it is being outsourced to a smaller Syria compliant company in that area. So there end up being a lot of internal work to understand that this is a service that's been offered by an emerging SMME, for me just to put it in an easier way for people to understand. And of course, we cannot outrule the issue of inside job. Inside job is a major challenge because despite the efforts by the SABC and efforts by the private security, wherever there's a profiling of these criminals, you realize that 80% of these cases, there's always someone from either the security company or from the SABC or a combination of both. And that's the major attributing factor.
What advice would you have for members of the public who may witness such a crime? Often we've seen we've seen people's lives, of course, being at risk with the explosion, and then depending on where it happens, members of the community rushing to pick up some of the banknotes, but that in itself may endanger their own lives. Talk to us a little bit about some of the tips you may give, as well as the kind of people who are conducting these crimes.
Thank you so much, my sister. A very important question. The second part of or type of CIT robberies is the CIT bombings. That's the most grievous kind of robbery we have in the country. And we have seen through social media that there's now a trend that people will want to rush to take videos. Other people are even attempting to become heroes in the sense that they think they can just pass by while the robbery is happening. And number one, the effects of the explosion are often affecting people. And secondly, the stray shooting using heavy ammunition. It's also affecting people. We've seen this week an innocent lady and a child were shot at. But all we need to advise our citizens is that they should stay away from these crime scenes and report them directly to the police as far as they can. 101 is one of the best methods. SABC now has an application, a mobile app, whereby they can anonymously just report. Even on the website, they can easily report the crime incident as it's happening. And people should avoid also trying to record live for trends and for views. But lastly, this common trend of
why is that? Very quickly, why should they avoid trying to record the live events?
It is endangering firstly to themselves. You'll know that some of these criminals do commit these offences very close to where they're coming from. If you go and check the cases, some cases cannot be finalized in court because the witnesses disappear somehow, and it's because the criminals are also watching out after the event has happened to say who did what and how was it recorded. So if they realize that this was Thabang and Thabang was just after us or was recording, they will try to reach out to Thabang to say, Thabang, delete the video, but not just the video, to get rid of Thabang actually getting to testify in court.
Very well, some sound advice indeed. Thank you so much for speaking to us, UNISA Cash and Transit researcher Thabang Bogopa, speaking to us there about the dangers and the modus operandi when it comes to cash and transit crimes.